I'm Stan Maag. I went to school here from 1979 to 1983 as a student. Participated in sports then as well. Came back in 1991 and began a career that lasted 27 years here at Highland. I coached basketball, coached baseball, and golf here at Highland, and enjoyed every minute of it. And I'm glad to be going in and proud to be going into the Highland Athletic Hall of Fame. It's a great honor. As a player, the relationship, like talking to these two young ladies here, you know, we're embedded in Highland High School, and as a player, I remember their parents certainly coached both of them. Phenomenal athletes, both of them, and the guitar player too as well, Dylan. But just you get so engrossed with everybody in here, and classmates that I had. Some of the best memories I have are with my classmates and teammates. I was part of the 1981 state championship football team, which, looking back on it now 40 plus years ago, it is a memory that I can't ever get away from, because it was so, the whole community came together. We had a bonfire, I remember, out on what the old base, right behind the tennis courts now, and the county judge came out with the bonfire. He was from Cave City, Judge Arnold, Frank Arnold, and we had a huge bonfire, and he declared it Highland Rebel Week. And in doing that, we were sitting there with football players going, who is that guy? We had no idea who Frank Arnold was. But that was such a memory. And those teammates I had then that are still around here in Summit, we keep up with them. I keep up with them through Facebook. I keep up with a lot of my players through Facebook. I just recall so many really genuinely good people, but they also had great parents too, and I knew the parents, and it was something to be from this area, so to speak, although I didn't move here until the 8th grade, and be a part of a system at Highland that was incorporated around two towns, Ashflat and Hardy, and that was so much fun to be here during that time and be here coaching, especially the first 25 years here at Highland. Man, as a coach, it was phenomenal. We had great athletes, great teams, and we competed in every sport, from tennis all the way to golf, if you want to. Everything. Every year we were competing for something. Favorite memory as a player, I guess you go back. Favorite memory as a player would be winning the state championship out here at Highland. At that time, we didn't play at Little Rock like they do now, and there was 5,000 people here around that football field, and that was something that was, was unheard of. We had no idea, but competing and winning that game was just unbelievable. That was a favorite memory as a player. As a coach, I think it's memories. You don't have just one. I know the girls' golf team won 4 state championships, and I remember thinking, if we win 1, I'll be happy. And then after winning 1, if we win 2, I'll be happy. And if we win 3, we won 3 in a row. And those players that were on there, Leslie, Bragg Getz, who's in the Hall of Fame, Meredith Circle, Yancey, she's in the Hall of Fame, and Heidi Schmidt. No, Meredith is not in the Hall of Fame, I'm sorry. Heidi Schmidt, they were all just great golfers. They played the game, they practiced the game, and you couldn't beat them with the competition level they had. I see some of that now with what I watch with the girls. I know the girls basketball team and the other sports they do. I see that now coming back, and it is impressive. That's one of my favorite memories, is just those championship teams and having success is one thing, but having great memories with that success, it just says everything. We had some really good teams in junior high basketball. Sterling, Coach Stowers was on one of them. Quentin, my son, was on one. And they were on some good football teams as well, of course. Went 13-1. Stay together. That's the thing. You got to stay together. Cohesiveness. And those best teams that we had, I can tell you right now, and it goes back to Dennis Burton and those families, is when we would call and I needed to get a hold of a kid, I called one house because they were always over at somebody's house. Even in your brother's, Brian, that was a close group. They were close. But now just staying together and being not just teammates on the field, but teammates off the field. You're watching out for one another. You're keeping eyes on one another. You're not, you're making people accountable for what you're wanting to do at school, and you're keeping kids accountable for what Highland represents outside the school, off the field, off the court, or whatever. And you need to be accountable from your teammates, not just the coaches, but the teammates have to make yourself accountable. If there was one thing that I thoroughly enjoyed and was preached to us as coaches from the administrator, Mr. Kimbrell, it actually goes back to Mr. Hudson, starting the school, who was superintendent when I was here as a student, was you are first a teacher. As a student, you're first a student and then an athlete. And Mr. Kimbrell, when they hired me, he said, you will teach a core class. I want my coaches in core classes. And mine was social studies, history. And I loved being in the classroom. I just enjoyed, because you get a different view of, if you're just around athletes all the time, face it, some of the athletes are the cream of the crop. You get to see all of them in the classroom. And those kids, when they succeed on the court's one thing, but when you have a kid succeed in the classroom, that just says so much more. I remember one kid who was apprehensive about taking ACT. And ACT was big then. You got to have ACT. And he took it, and he was an average student, a little above average, made a 31 on it. Blew us all away. And they made him take it again, and next time he made 32 on it. He was just so smart, but we never tapped into that as a student for him to be a part of everything. It was it was such a defining moment for me. And I remember going, it's just amazing what we don't do if we don't get around the students, all the students, not just the athletes. And again, academics were so important at this school, and still are, I assume, and I'm sure they are. But, having my son, Reed, who's started here this year, Coach Maag, having him here teaching a math class, that I'm proud of that. And I'm proud of the legacy. If there is one for me, it's my other son's a state trooper around here. That didn't happen just by his mom and myself. That was the impression he got from people around the school. Great impressions and great mentors for him here at the school he was able to look at. Angie, my wife, who taught 23, 4, 5 years here at the elementary school, we were gone, and we came back, and I remember, we put this in there, but we're sitting there visiting my mother. She was pretty sick at the time, and there's a thing come up on Channel 8, and it was you, Miss Johnson. You donated something unbelievable, but that's the kind of people we have here, and that was how we did things. That was, and of course they were hearing a big thing, and your expression on that, and I'm just so glad you're here. You're following in your mom's and dad's footsteps, who are two of the finest people I know of. But being inducted into this Hall of Fame, it recognizes me because if you did it because I was an athlete, I don't know about that. If you did it because I coached, I really don't know about that. But coming back to this school and the institution that it is, and how it has grown, and how the school, like this room we're sitting in, this hallway that we're down, so many memories come back, and it's still a great school. And Mr. Hudson starting it in '64 was just an awesome time period. It's the 60th year of Highland High School, and we've had a lot of great people graduate from here and come back. Some have come back and taught, and some of them have moved off and done wonderful things. And just thank you for allowing me to be in the Hall of Fame. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this school for as long as I have. I so appreciate the committee and those that I guess voted me in. And thank you. And it goes to my family as well. Speak on their behalf, Angie and Quentin, Reed, their wives, and of course my grandchildren too, who'll be here tonight. And that's the best thing ever. Thank you so much.